Well, I know that you folks were probably expecting something from Larry Goldberg this afternoon, since that's not what I've been talking about. But we've had breaking news, so it's important to break in when you've got breaking news. But first, let me just say, if you didn't take a look at the 2023 projections that I put out today, what's going on? I mean, I had a good response to that, but typically most folks are really looking forward to those projections, and it was not quite the numbers I was expecting. So if you didn't get it, I've got a little card right here, or you can just look in the information below and click that link and go take a look at that. And we'll do Larry Goldberg later this week. But when you got breaking news, you got breaking news. Don't forget Patreon. If you're interested in becoming a part of Patreon, there's a 7-day free trial. Okay, so here we go. First piece of big news is that I said this morning incorrectly that Elon was going to India. And I unfortunately did not read as deeply as I should have. In fact, India was coming to Elon, and that was in New York City. They met today and with the Prime Minister Modi, and here was the result as Elon came out of the meeting.
How was your meeting?
I'm planning to visit India next year. I'm confident that Tesla will be in India and will do so as soon as humanly possible. I'd like to thank the Prime Minister for his support, and hopefully we'll be able to announce something in the not too distant future.
Are you looking to invest in India?
Yes.
How soon?
Well, we don't want to jump the gun. We don't want to jump the gun on an announcement, but I think it's quite likely that there will be a significant investment and relationship with India in the future.
That's big news. What made you change your mind?
So I've had that look on my face before coming out of meetings. Have you? The cat ate the canary look. So apparently Elon was pretty happy with himself. That was the only way that I could describe the look that he had with these reporters accosting him as he came out the door, asking him what was the result of his meeting with the Prime Minister. And so India, it is. We've been saying for some time that we thought India was first choice. It looks like India was indeed. What does that mean for France? What does that mean for Canada? Actually, at the very end, he says, Canada next year or something, but I think that was just a flippant remark from somebody who asked him about Canada. So yes, we've had all of our speculations. Other people that have been in the running possibly have been South Korea, Italy, Spain, more China or some other place in China, Indonesia. I mean, we've got a list of places that have been talked about. Now, a lot of those places could be for mega packs as opposed to for a full-on gigafactory. But on the other hand, he didn't say for sure that this is a gigafactory, except to say it was a major investment. I do think we're talking about a gigafactory. Probably, again, the whole idea in India is to be able to make the third generation platform so they can make the smaller cars that are way more popular in and around India. And obviously, there's just a massive market that can be served by a gigafactory in India. So anyway, that was a piece of breaking news, but it's not that far away. And in fact, it's kind of an ongoing breaking story. So let me pull up the other one here real quick. And that is what happened in the market today. So, the story has been, I don't know, I started talking, a month, maybe 6 weeks ago, that there was really no reason why the stock shouldn't be prepared to go up as long as the market started to get a little more risk on. Well, then we had all of the good news. We had all the bad news that had been hanging over Tesla kind of go away. We had massive good news week after week after week, day after day, sometimes just amazing good news, just hitting and hitting and hitting. And so the stock started moving, and it moved through some resistance, the obvious resistance at a round number like 200. It moved through that resistance. And then I said, look, there looks like there's some resistance around 216, somewhere around there. And in fact, it hit a little barrier at 216, but then it plowed through with some more good news. And Elon was out there every day and talking about the company being an AI company, and the stock market continued to move upward. And then all of a sudden, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, just over 3 weeks ago, Kathy announced that we were in a bull market. Kathy Wood announced we were in a bull market. She was the first one to do it. And in fact, now everybody else agrees we're in a bull market. Then a couple of analysts increased their stock predictions from like 200 to 300 in the ballpark, 2 of them in around the same ballpark, increasing from 200 to 300. And I'm sitting here going, oh my gosh, we're on our way to 300 after we broke through 216, 217. And I said, there's no barriers. There's no technical barriers between now and 300. Well, as we're now hitting 275 at the end of the day and up another $3 in the after hours, a lot of folks on Twitter are saying, "Oh, well, it's going to be, there's going to be somebody said, listen for the flushing sound tomorrow morning," was one of the comments on Twitter. And I responded to that. I don't know. Typically you'd say, sure, we've had this massive run up on Tesla. Now the stock market's been running up too, but it was down today. And it's not been running up the same way. Tesla is completely disconnected from either the Dow or the NASDAQ, completely disconnected from my favorite Kathy Wood stocks. They're all over the place right now. Some are up, some are down, but Tesla just keeps marching upward. Well, the picture I got on the screen right now is because we've seen this story before. And sometimes, in fact, 2 times in history, one time in 2020, and another time in late 2021, we had extreme big runs with almost no stopping. Look at that second one. It almost didn't stop at all. There was almost no breathing. The first one had a couple of minor breathers, but look how far it went up. Well, some of you remember, some of you made a lot of money in that period because, of course, everyone's a genius in a bull market. Anyway, as we look at this leg here that's just starting, this other leg, I feel like this is a bounce off a ridiculous low. That was just like, what do they call it? I can't remember the name of it now, a capitulation deal where it all piled on and people just, you heard them, they were sad. People were just, crying about what was happening in Tesla. And they were selling Tesla when they never intended to sell. And when did they sell? They sold at the bottom. They sold at 110. They sold at 100. It's crazy. It was all over Twitter. These lifelong Tesla enthusiasts, and they were not very happy. Well, so that's a relief. That was just a relief from that bottom right there. This is the beginning of the new rally. And Tesla is a funny stock. It is unlike any other stock. It's unlike any other company in history. And somebody said today, well, the fundamentals haven't changed. And so therefore, why would it go, past these numbers? Why do we think it should have a PE so much higher than it did before? Well, there's reasons why that's true. And the reasons are the same reasons they were before, is because it's unlike any other company in history. And the potential opportunity is unmatched. It's not in the maybe around Apple numbers like I did on my video the other day about 2026. I suggested we could be at 9, almost 10 trillion by 2026 in market cap at a 50 PE. We could be with a conservative version of it, where it was like I went to less than half of the total numbers that I'm expecting for 2026. A very conservative approach. I came up with Tesla being at 3 trillion with 100 billion in profits in 2026. Well, that's a long way from where we are right now, folks. That's a big increase. And if those things happen, if FSD is done, if robotaxis are out there, if you have Optimus robots actually being deployed, actually being leased and to companies, and those leases are compiling year after year to where now you might have 2, 3, 4, 5 million of those out there at $40,000 or $50,000 a year each. The numbers get bananas, and these are not far-fetched anymore. These are starting to be within reach. These are like, yes, I can imagine. 50% of the people I polled said, yes, I believe that, and this was in the Tesla community, 50% believe that FSD and the robots will be in business, if you will, in 2026. So that's 2.5 years from now, 3 years, if you want to count it as, say, halfway through the 2026 year, before it's clear that all of this is taking place. So yeah, call me bonkers, call me the Uber bull, call me whatever name you want to, but you're seeing the beginning of people getting it again, people saying, I'm going to take the risk. Last time, when that first run went up like that, there wasn't 23 billion in the bank, and there was debt. Okay, there was risk. There was Elon Musk saying, I don't know, we don't know if we'll make it or not. I mean, there was risk out there, lots of risk, with $23 billion in the bank and more free cash flow coming every quarter this year, for sure, not even maybe. More cash flow coming, more factories ready to go, factories ramping, new products ramping. I mean, where's the risk? It's all reward. That's what I'm saying. There's never been a company like this. And it's easy to see the potential and to see that this is not something that's just a story, totally story. No, there's enough reality to the story that it goes to being, okay, I see it now. So where could we go? I think we will have resistance at 300. Will we have any resistance between now and 300? Well, we're at 278, up from 216, 17, where this rally started. It's gone up almost like a rocket. I don't know, funny analogy, right? And then now we're at 278 in the after hours. Usually when you end on a high and you're up in the after hours, usually you're going to be up in the morning. So how hard would it be to get to 300? Not that hard. Where will the resistance hit? There's nothing before now in 300. That doesn't mean it will go straight up. It might bounce around a little. It might even go into a trading range. But I think the next trading range is going to be very narrow, 295 to 305, something like that. There may be a trading range. And then there's nothing to stop it from going to 400. After that, it's another straight shot. Take a look at the straight shot. There's nothing. There's nothing there. It's a straight shot. When it bounced down after the first problem, it bounced straight back up again. And then down here, okay, there might be some resistance right here. What is it, about 300 and 320 maybe? There might be some resistance. No, there's basically no resistance all the way to 400 or beyond 400, just because 400 is the roughly the old all-time high. That doesn't mean that there is, well, we can see exactly what it is, the old all-time. Oh, I can't, no, that's right. That's a screenshot. That's not the actual. Anyway, so we could be looking at, going past 400 as well. There will be nothing to stop us. Now, I'm not predicting that. All I'm saying is nothing to stop us to get to 300 at this point. Could be in a trading range for a while. How long is that while? Well, maybe till after earnings in late July. Maybe there will be some other catalyst between now and then that would catapult us. Maybe it'll take all the way until the Cybertruck. Maybe we'll be sitting even in a broader trading range, maybe 275 to 310 or something like that. Or maybe it'll just keep bouncing against 300 until the earnings report, or maybe until the Cybertruck. Did I say catalyst? Anyway, until the Cybertruck comes out, or it might go through and keep on going. And then those things will just be sell on the news. They might create a new kind of resistance lines when those reports can't come out, because maybe they're not quite as good as hoped. So it could be a sell-off at that point if the earnings are not as good as hoped. So there's a bunch of possibilities that we'll have to analyze as we get closer to it. But for those of you who've been asking me over and over again, will we hit 300 this week? There's a darn good chance. So anyway, like I said, please go see that the 2023 estimates that I've got, which show the next quarter and show all the way to the end of the year. And then tomorrow, I think I'll be coming out with 2024, even though we now have this interview that's just sitting there, and I don't know if I'll do that tomorrow and put off the 2024 until Thursday. Let me know in the comments below. Should I do Larry Goldberg tomorrow and then put off the 2024 analysis until Thursday, or should I do it the opposite way, or does it matter? Anyway, all right. that's all I've got for you right now. I hope this was valuable. If it was, hit the like, hit subscribe, and obviously, as always, hit notify. And it's been great talking to you.